How's it going? This is Grant Luna with Fidelity National Title. And for today's video, I'll be showing you how to generate farms that have a high turnover rate easily using Fidelity Total Farm. If you don't have Fidelity Total Farm, there's a link in the description. Easy to follow, step-by-step guide, and you can have a Fidelity Total Farm account up and running, start getting access to really good data, and you can follow along with this video. This can be useful if you're trying to find a new area to reach out to. So maybe you'll be doing postcards, mailers, email blasts, buying data of some sort, and you want to make sure that you'll be focusing your attention on an area that will yield results. So maybe you don't want to start reaching out to an area where people live there forever. There's very low incentive to actually sell their properties. Maybe you want to focus on areas where there's people moving and selling constantly, a lot of activity going on. We can help you find those using Fidelity Total Farm. So usually when you're creating farms in the system, you select create a farm, you draw a map over the area. Works really great to do it that way if you have an area in mind. But if you don't and you're just going to look at the numbers, you can use subdivisions instead up here. And before we get started, for those that don't know what a turnover rate is, it's the number of sales in the last 12 months in an area divided by the number of homes in an area, then multiplied by 100. So then you get that percentage that you'll see that we'll look at in a couple of seconds. So people usually say 5% is a really good turnover rate. So anything 5% and above, and that's something we can look for today. And this is going to be a really simple one in terms of actually navigating and creating these farms. So once you select subdivisions up here, all you have to do is enter in a city. So I'll put in Rancho Palos Verdes, select continue. Now it will drop me in over Rancho Palos Verdes. It's going to give me a breakdown of all the different areas that I can look at. I can even click on some of these and now I'll start to get a sense of the turnover rates of the different area. So this is also good if you have a listing presentation coming up. It's just a good stat to have a good awareness of any area that you'll be reaching out to consistently. So you see a breakdown here of single family residences, their turnover rates compared to condos as well. So this is a good one here. So there's 1,900 single family residences with a turnover rate of 3.90%. There's 442 condos with a turnover rate of 6.11%. Usually you'll see that condos have a higher turnover rate than single family residences. And then finally, you get the turnover rate of the area, taking both of these into consideration. So now you have 2,421 properties with a turnover rate of 3.18%. So now we want to come in here and we want to find an area with a high turnover rate and we want to create a farm out of that. So now all I have to do is either go to map view or I can actually select a list view, and now I'll get a breakdown of these areas and their turnover rates. So this, I think visually is a little bit easier to scroll through and get a sense of, and I can just look at these numbers here. And for example, these condos have really high turnover rates here. I think just usually in general, people have a lot of reasons to go in and out of condos. Once again, just something like this. So this is 1,600 condos that almost have a 5% turnover rate. So that itself could be a good farm. And this is the entire Crest area. And so it's really easy to create farms out of here. So all you have to do is choose create a farm down here. So I can just select create a farm. I can just name it as is, or I can also come in here ahead of time and maybe I want to scrub all of these and I just want these condos. So now I can select create a farm. I'll say Eastview, Rancho Palos Verdes condos, create a farm, and now it'll be generated for me. So now this farm's created, I can select close. Here it is, Eastview, Rancho Palos Verdes condos. I can enter this farm. Once again, I have all the homeowner data here. I can start to work with it as usual. So I can run targeted social media ads to this farm. I can purchase the emails, phone numbers, throw them into a CRM here. Maybe it's your own company CRM, start to do these campaigns. So a really good resource to do that. Another nice feature of searching for these areas based off turnover rate is I can just filter for ones that have high turnover rates. So I can come in here, I can do that same thing, Rancho Palos Verdes, and maybe I just select turnover rate. Maybe I just want to look for something that has at least a 5% turnover rate. Now you can see all these areas are mostly taken away, but I can select list view and see the ones that match that criteria. So this one, for example, has a high turnover rate, 6.47%, the entire area, 5.63%. So now I could have done any of these instead. So really quick and easy way to get a sense of an area, get a sense of which areas in particular have a little bit greater activity, maybe some good areas to focus your attention on. So if this is something that you're interested in, maybe you're having some issues when you're trying to do it yourself, you can always leave a comment in the comments below. I'm happy to get back to you and help you any way I can.